Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Will the Prime Minister outline to the House how a strong economy helps to create jobs and enables the government to guarantee essential services, including record funding for hospitals and schools, including in my electorate of Dunkley? Is the Prime Minister aware of any alternative approaches?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Mr Speaker, I thank the honourable member for his question. Mr Speaker, 90% of Australians work in the private sector, and more than half of them work in small and medium Australian family-owned businesses. And they are the businesses that are investing, encouraged by the reductions in company tax already legislated. They are the companies that are investing and are employing, and that is why, Mr Speaker, last year we had the highest jobs growth in Australia's history. And that is why, Mr Speaker, we see GDP growth at 3.1%. We're seeing that strong growth because the government is providing the incentive to encourage Australian businesses to invest and get ahead. And of course what that does, the stronger economy enables the government to have the revenues to provide record funding on health and education, to be able to agree with the states a new 5-year public hospital funding deal which will add $30 billion in additional funding, $7.5 billion of which will go to Queensland, Mr Speaker, where the Labor Party is out there once again lying and saying that the government is cutting funding to public hospitals. Every year the funding is going up. And you know what the greatest risk to public hospital funding is? The greatest risk to schools, the greatest risk to having life-saving jobs, Mr Speaker, it would be a Labor government, because a Labor government would not be able to manage a stronger economy. It would not be able to deliver the revenues that you need to pay for all of these things. Look, this is not a question of theory or speculation. We know in the last Labor government they were reduced to the point, so poorly were they managing the country's finances, that they couldn't put life-saving drugs onto the PBS. They couldn't do it. They couldn't
Members
do it.
on both sides.
They were holding them back. A heavy price.
The member for Ballarat.
A heavy price paid. And what we're doing is, as those drugs are recommended, we are putting them on the list. We are putting billions of dollars more into public hospital, into Medicare, into medical research. All of that is possible because of a stronger economy, and without a stronger economy it is simply not able to be done, and Labor demonstrated that. A stronger economy ensures we can fund the essential services Australians deserve.